This is VOA News. Via remote, I'm Diane Roberts. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has confirmed that she will travel to Asia. AP correspondent Lisa Dwyer reports.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has confirmed that she will visit 4 Asian countries this week, but there was no mention of a possible stop in Taiwan. Such a visit has angered Beijing. China claims Taiwan as its own territory. Pelosi says that she is leading a congressional delegation to Singapore, Malaysia, South Korea, and Japan. Taiwan and China split in 1949. Both sides say they are one country, but they disagree over which government is entitled to national leadership. Washington is obligated by federal law to see that Taiwan has the means to defend itself. A Taiwan visit by Pelosi would make her the highest-ranking elected American official to visit Taiwan since a visit by former House Speaker Newt Gingrich in 1997. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Heavy Russian strikes hit the southern Ukrainian port city of Mykolaiv overnight and early on Sunday. The local governor said the owner of one of the country's largest grain exporting companies was killed along with his wife. President Volodymyr Zelensky described that death as, quote, a great loss for all of Ukraine, end quote. Zelensky said Saturday in his video address that Ukraine's government has decided on a mandatory evacuation of people in the eastern Donetsk region. Meanwhile, Russia's President Vladimir Putin signed a new naval doctrine which cast the United States as Russia's main rival and set out Russia's global maritime ambitions for crucial areas such as the Arctic and in the Black Sea. Putin said the country's Navy would receive hypersonic Zircon cruise missiles within the next few months and that the area of their deployment would depend on Russian interests. This is VOA News. Gunmen killed 8 Nigerian security personnel, including 3 policemen and 5 vigilantes, in an ambush in a central state, a local government spokesperson said Sunday. No group claimed responsibility for Saturday's attack. At the ANC party conference, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa says the economy and corruption are their top priorities as the party tries to improve electoral support. AP correspondent Naomi Shannon reports.
ANC party leader and South African President Cyril Ramaphosa addressed party members at the National Policy Conference. In order to improve the party's declining electoral support, he discussed the country's main challenges: high poverty levels, a 35% unemployment rate, and rising inflation. The more controversial topic is the party's step-aside policy, which requires party leaders accused of corruption to step down from their positions. According to Ramaphosa,
to enhance the integrity of the movement and its leadership.
But many rival factions within the party and loyalists to former President Jacob Zuma oppose the policy, saying it's used to silence political rivals. The policies agreed on will be adopted at the National Conference in December, where Ramaphosa will be seeking re-election as party leader. I'm Naomi Shannon.
A section of Beirut's massive port grain silos, shredded in the August 4, 2020 explosion, has collapsed after a fire that has lasted weeks. The recent fire was triggered by grains that had fermented and ignited in the summer heat. There were no immediate reports of injuries. Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid on Sunday upped pressure on the United Nations to disband a commission investigating Israel, appealing to the Secretary General over, quote, anti-Semitic, end quote, remarks from a member of the body. A groundbreaking star of the Star Trek series has died. AP entertainment correspondent Oscar Wells Gabriel has more on the life and career of Nichols, who was 89 years old.
Space.
While she and the rest of the Star Trek crew conquered the final frontier, Nichols was battling a more earthbound issue, race. Her role as Lieutenant Uhura on the original TV series broke barriers in many ways. Before that, black women were basically limited to roles as servants, but Uhura was the communications officer on a ship headed to where no man had gone before. Her interracial on-screen kiss with co-star William Shatner was something that was unheard of at the time. Nichols had said that civil rights champion Martin Luther King was a fan of her role as a pioneer, and he personally encouraged her to stay on the series. That had an effect on real-life space history. Dr. Mae Jemison, the first black woman in space, says Nichols' role inspired her to become an astronaut.